Good morning. Good morning. My name is Robin Fritz, and it's time for Coffee and Cosmos with Robin. Welcome. I appreciate you being here today. So, my name is Robin Fritz. I am a trained intuitive and spiritual consultant and a certified past life regression specialist. So, I host a weekly show at omtimes.com called The Practical Intuitive Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World. And I appreciate it, love it if you join me Mondays at 2 Pacific time. It's 5 Eastern time. We live on the West Coast. We have trouble figuring out what time it is on the East Coast. 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern. And right now it must be 2 o'clock on the East Coast. So welcome. So you're welcome to check out my website, robinfritz.com. That's ROBYNFRITZ.com. Or email me for sessions. I offer intuitive, personal, and business consultations, animal communication, mediumship, space clearing. And on the spiritual side, past life regression, between life regression, soul progression clearing, spiritual awakening, spiritual journeys, energy healing, just an array of wonderful things that I found have helped me and my clients over the years. So today I'd like to talk about soul progression clearing, which I talked about yesterday on my radio show, which you can find in the archives. And I will also be offering a free webinar on soul progression clearing, what it is, what it can do for you, and why I created it, next Thursday, July 27th. At noon Pacific time. Hi, Molly. Thanks for joining me. It is, and I'll talk a little bit about it now, but the subject is kind of complex, and I wanted to do a free webinar to explain how I created it, the ancient and current contemporary modalities that went into it, why you would want to have a session, and a brief little meditation just to help you clear out your energies right there in the webinar. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. So we'll talk a little bit about soul progression clearing today, do a meditation with the crystal Fallon, and talk about a crystal of the week, which I started a few weeks ago, and an energy healing with the goddess. So let's start. I know with my setup here in my office, well, there we go. This is Fallon, the citrine Lemurian quartz. He was carved into a crystal ball about 6 years before we met again. And citrine Lemurian is a very rare combination, and I did not name him. That's his name, spelled Fallon. People have asked about that. So my work as an intuitive and spiritual consultant is to help people tap their abilities as intuitives and healers. So in these Facebook Live sessions and on my radio show and my sessions, I want you to experience his energy, however your intuition works, so that during the time that you share with us here, it will help you grow your intuition and your healing abilities. So however your intuition works is how you will experience him. Either seeing, hearing, feeling, or simply knowing that you're connected to his energy. So if you take a deep breath and just imagine that you're connecting to the energy of this crystal, breathe into your solar plexus, take a deep breath, and it's all healthy, cleansing energy. And as you breathe in, just feel those positive energy expanding. And as you exhale, just release what doesn't serve you. Let your lungs clear it out. And you take your attention now to the top of your head, which is going to help you connect mind, body, and spirit more deeply together. So as you breathe down from the top of your head, down your face, your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your heart chakra, your solar plexus, your hips, your knees, and your feet. Top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And just feel your mind, body, spirit connecting, and feel that energy clearing, running through you. Now, as you concentrate on your feet, imagine Fallon as a gold light vibrating and rotating outside of you and moving up your body to complete the clearing. So up from your feet, your knees, your hips, your chest, your shoulders, your face, your third eye, your intuition, and your crown chakra. So most people really have their crown chakras wide open when connecting with Fallon as the powerful crystal that he is. And I'm going to put him, he's pretty heavy, put him back here on so you can see him. And to learn more about Fallon and our work together, I invite you to go to my business page on Facebook, The Practical Intuitive Robin M. Fritz, or send me a personal request at or a friend request at Robin M. Fritz. Peace, is that what you felt, Elaine? That's awesome. Feeling a feeling of contentment, of peace. Today, I forgot to say it, but I wanted people to concentrate on the word grounding. And if you'll hold that in your thoughts and in your hearts today, it's a really important thing that a lot of us don't do, which is why I work with a lot of people with energy boundary issues. But let me tell you briefly about soul progression clearing, what it is, and why I created. Yes, peace, awesome. I appreciate that. So we're all looking to be our best selves. That's why we took bodies, to grow our souls, and becoming our best selves as humans is our job, so to speak. The problem is we don't value ourselves as much as we could or we should. And we always need to be moving forward on the path of self-love. And there are a variety of techniques you can do that. One of my preferred techniques is working with crystals. I love the energy of crystals. Not everybody is attracted to them. Hello, thank you for joining us. So the other difficulty is we're out there, we're busy in our daily lives, we're working to grow our souls, we're rushing down the road of life, and we hit roadblocks, and it's inevitable. It's just what happens in our daily lives. And what I discovered was I was hitting roadblocks on my personal healing journey, and my clients were hitting roadblocks. And my goal is always to be the best support that I can for myself and my family and my clients. So I just continue to study and to look for methods that would help all of us become our best selves and really clear out the issues that were holding us back. So I wanted a way for people to resolve blockages no matter what caused them. So no judgment on the blockages, no judgment on what it was, not even always necessary to identify it, but simply to remove the roadblocks, but as well as to inspire and energize people on the road of life, because we all need a boost now and then, right? So I undertook extensive training in intuitive development. I studied a number of shamanic modalities. I became a certified Reiki level 3 practitioner, also additional energy healing modalities, and of course the energy healing that's connected with Fallon. And then as those of us who want to adapt things in our practices that really work, that's how I created soul progression clearing. And there's a lot involved in it, and a lot of different techniques that I will explain in my free webinar next Thursday, July 27th, how I got there, what those techniques involve, and how it benefits you undergoing a soul progression clearing, and how you then can move forward on your path to being your best self. But essentially, what soul progression clearing does is clear issues or blockages that go back into your current lifetime. I've had clients who really didn't remember an early childhood or early in their teen years, an issue that had been blocking them that turned up, or sometimes an issue in a past life that's come up to be resolved in this one. We all have those. I certainly admit to that. When I was first learning past life regression, accidentally, doing what they call spontaneous past life regressions, I was identifying 500 years of previous lifetimes with the same issues I was having in this lifetime, which I'm grateful to say I've resolved for the most part, and in using this technique as well as others. But as well as clearing issues, soul progression clearing clears attachments, whether they are entities or thought forms. And that is, again, a longer conversation than we have for today. What happened last week, Sabrina? Tapping into Fallon, I hope you're going to say. But whatever it is, what happened to you last week? I'd love for you to share. But I appreciate everyone joining in here with your comments. So again, I'll talk more about the soul progression clearing in next Thursday's webinar, but essentially it involves three things: intuitive insight, very shamanic and other modalities to clear out the blockage, and then energy healing to go back into your energy body and fill it back up again, right? So it's getting rid of something and filling you back up again. So your car broke down. Oh, I had my windshield repaired yesterday. Thank goodness I noticed the nick because it was on the way to losing my windshield. So I hope your car repair was successful. So why would you want a soul progression clearing? So you may feel stuck where you're at. I have a lot of clients who feel like their life is just a mess. A lot of people have problems with their energy boundaries. That's a whole nother webinar and a whole nother conversation, but most of us have issues with our energy boundaries. So if you feel drained, you can't stand up for yourself, or you're feeling run over on a daily basis, that would be a reason why you might want to call me up and say, hey, let's talk about a soul progression clearing. And it may be that you want one, or it may be that that's not something that you're interested in at the time, but that's something that we could chat about. Another reason would be if you feel something that's in you that shouldn't be. A lot of healers are coming to me these days feeling attachments of one kind or another. Sometimes it's because they're not properly shielded when they work with other clients. So what they do in a healing session kind of falls back on them. And a lot of times it's just our daily lives. Energy is in everything. That's what everything is created of, even if we don't see it, like the wind, for example. But certainly in our buildings. So if you walk into a building, it's full of little bits and pieces of energy that people left behind. So sometimes things are stuck in you, and sometimes those things are the dead who haven't moved on, or thought forms. And I will talk more about that because I don't want to scare people, but it's a real phenomenon, and it's a real issue that we all deal with in our daily lives, is feeling drained at the end of the day, feeling that we're stuck, and just wanting to clear the way to moving forward, getting rid of those roadblocks. So here's, yes, the car thing, Sabrina, I know that, they're expensive to fix. And sometimes I think about the people who live in big cities where the public transportation actually works, like New York, where they don't really need cars. But not the case in Seattle. So anyway, let me tell you briefly how soul progression clearing works. So sometimes people just want to chat for a few minutes about whether it's an appropriate modality for them. And that's another reason why I'm offering the free workshop next week, to introduce you to what it is. But when we set an appointment, the client and I will sit down together. So then I create sacred space around us so that you're protected and I'm protected, and we have this wonderful, healthy space. Georgia. Awesome. And yes, West Seattle. Yes, yes, yes. That is where I am still. Advanced osteoarthritis and a lot of pain. My sympathies with you. Couple of things. A good naturopath. I have a naturopath who sponsors my radio show. Her name is Aubrey Wallace. She practices on Skype worldwide. She's also a medical intuitive, works with clients that way. You can find her at lovebeingu, LOVEBEINGU.info. Check it out. Ask for a medical intuitive reading. She offers 15% off readings for listeners for my show. That would be one thing. I also have had those kinds of issues. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. Helia? What a cool name. Helia? Anyway, I love that name. Sorry I mispronounced it. One of the things that I did over the years to resolve my issues was work with people like Dr. Wallace, who offered supplements and other remedies, and with regular MDs who also had other solutions. But gentle yoga is a huge benefit, and chiropractic care. And I will have a chiropractor on my show on August 7th to talk about what kind of healing comes from regular chiropractic care. But also, if you know energy healing, do energy healing on yourself, and consider one of these sessions. Oh, dreams, yes. Remind me to talk about dreams in the future. Dreams are part of your awakening process as an intuitive. I've actually been in Oklahoma, Lorraine. So let me tell you briefly how soul progression clearing works. So we sit down with the client and discuss the issue. We open sacred space with Fallon, and so we create this circle around us that is protective and healing and nurturing. So it's a wonderful area to be in, a wonderful energy field to be in, and that can happen in person or on Skype. So we bring in my spiritual team, my spirit guides, we bring in the client's spiritual team, and then we sit down and we look intuitively at what the issue is that they're bringing today. Sometimes my clients are very clear, and they're there because they're very clear on a place in their body where they actually feel a blockage of some kind, or actually feel that something's there that is not actually them. And I can verify that or not, depending on how the session goes and depending on what we decide we need. Then I will go in and use various shamanic techniques to go to the root of the issue and help remove it. It may be an attachment of some kind, and that's where I work with healing, the healing spirits, the divinities. There's a very opinionated but loving goddess that I've worked with for many years who was very patient with me. As when she first showed up, she said she was a goddess, and I'm like, what again? So very patient and very powerful. And she works actually across the universe as a healer. So she's there. And what happens is we remove that attachment, we remove the issue and the blockage. And because it's a thing, and even an idea, we send it on to be healed and to be renewed and to continue its journey, whatever its people in it decide to do. That's that thing's decision and the decision of its spiritual team. So what happens then? Well, when you remove an attachment, there's literally a hole in your energy field. So that's where energy healing comes in. The energy healing that Fallon and other crystals bring, Reiki, and a new energy system that showed up in my family in 2007 that I call alchemical healing energy. We use that to fill in the energy field, and it's very soothing for the client. And over a period of minutes, we can feel, and they can feel that the energy is filled in. So then I send them away with instructions, usually to take the rest of the day off, to take a salt bath, to drink lots of water, and even to keep a notebook, because ideas and reflections and so on will come up over a period of time, because this is part of your soul growth and your healing. Thank you. Is it Terena? Linda, sorry about, apparently you missed something. Oh, don't worry about it. But do remind me to, Linda, do remind me to bring up the issue of what happens in the dream time in the middle of the night, because that's an awakening period for a lot of people. So I would like to move on now, and if you have any questions about soul progression clearing, you can email me at robin@robinfritz.com, and join the webinar next week, and I'll tell you how to get there in a minute. But first, I want to, Linda, why do we sabotage with self-destructive addictions and habits, reliving the same experience for 30 plus years? Oh, I know it is horrible, isn't it, Linda? And we want to be perfect, and we want to redo something that happened. We want it to go away, or we want it to be right. And it's a sign that you're a very loving person, and also very sensitive. Removing blocks on your own, energy healing, sea salt. I have my salt lamp on here, but the way my office is, you can't really see it. I highly recommend everybody has Himalayan salt lamps. Everybody. I have them all over the house. I also have great bunches of lavender, which you can see back up there. Lavender is a clearing flower, and there's lavender oils. Rosie Gremmert is one of the hosts of my radio show. She's a certified essential oil therapist. You can email her at rosie@icandoheartthings. And icandoheartthings.com. She's offering 25% off essential oils to help healers and intuitives through blocks. So those are some of the things that you can do, Elaine. Being aware, keeping yourself healthy and grounded, and forgiving yourself. We all make mistakes, and when we dwell on our mistakes, that's when our energy plummets. Yes, Julia, thank you for that. I am offering discounts at the webinar, and Rosie is offering discounts, and I believe they're 25% off if you sign up for a session then. Costs, you can check my website at fees and contacts, but the cost for soul progression here clearing is $165 an hour plus transaction fees, and generally it's about an hour. I tend to go over a little bit, getting to know people a little bit, and I don't charge extra for that. So yes, those are wonderful questions that you're asking, and we will be bringing those up in the webinar. But also, Sunchia, I'm sorry if I can't pronounce your name correctly. How do we heal physical, emotional issues that the body appears to refuse to heal? Well, I'm the one who said earlier in this session that it took me looking at 500 years of lifetimes with the same health issues before I went, okay, this has to stop. And I got down and I worked on it, and I worked on it for years. And energy healing, body work, healthy food, maintaining the positive attitude as much as you can, and just continuing to do the work of clearing, and continuing to feel how your body feels, and work on it. And again, here's one thing that you can do. This is the crystal of the week, and let's see if I can show it. I want to get it as close as possible. Oh, good picture, actually. This is Columbite, it looks like a very artistic modern carving of an opening rose, but Columbite is an ore. It's quite expensive, but for me, it's the most powerful grounding and protection stone there is. And we use it in all of our sessions, and I carry it with me. And so one thing people can do is buy stones, and I'm also offering a workshop coming up on working and healing with crystals, but go out and look for grounding and balancing stones, crystals that work for you. Judy Hall has a series of books on them. You can go to a really reputable dealer in your area if there is one. You can look online, be careful online to find healthy crystals, but I highly recommend Columbite. It's expensive and it's hard to find, but it's worth it. And it really thunks you back into your body really quickly. So it's very good for grounding and it's very good for protection. And those of you who are out there exploring your intuitive and healing abilities and doing things like astral traveling, you know what I'm talking about when I say you run into things that you didn't know were actually out there, and not all of them are benign. So you want protection for that kind of exploration. Elaine, if something doesn't clear or seems dark, sometimes you do need help. You're welcome to call me and chat briefly about it. You can contact me by email at robin@robinfritz.com, and we can chat quickly. Send me a phone number. But, you know, I have been to other healers, even as a healer myself. We all need to keep up with that. And sometimes going to an outside person provides that objectivity and additional skill set, if you will, or additional tools to help you complete your healing, just like you would go to a medical doctor for a medical issue or get your car tuned up at the car dealership. So if you can't find Columbite, a lot of people like black tourmaline. I don't find it as powerful. But you can also, there's obsidian and jet, and a lot of people like those, but this is my favorite. And if you can find Columbite, spelled Columbite, you'll be thrilled with it. It's I've had people just get thunked right back into your body. But a word of warning, I've also had people that it was too powerful for, and I literally had to put it in a different room. So before you buy an expensive piece like this, check it out intuitively. So let me tell you a little bit about how to find me. You can find me here, and I would appreciate it if you are enjoying the video today, and to like the Om Times magazine page, to go to my page and like it. It's The Practical Intuitive, Robin M. Fritz. It's ROBYNFRITZ, Robin M. Fritz. Or send me a Facebook friend request. Email me at my website, Robin, ROBYN, at robinfritz.com, ROBYNFRITZ. And join me at the Experts platform, experts.omtimes.com/RobinFritz. I'm posting descriptions of my webinars next week. So I have 2 free webinars next week. One on Wednesday, and they're all at 12 Pacific time, which is 3 Eastern time. On Wednesday, it's Meet the Practical Intuitive, a little bit about me, some cool pictures, a little bit about, to help you get a feel for if you'd like to work with me, and what I do and how I do it. On Thursday, July 27th, will be my free webinar on soul progression clearing. Join me there. If you go to the experts.omtimes.com/RobinFritz, you can sign up for a free account at Learn It Live, and then sign up for the webinar, and we'll have some cool pictures for you there. And then on Friday, July 28th, is a paid webinar on meeting and greeting your spirit guide. And this is awesome. I love teaching this webinar because not only I'm going to tell you what to look out for and watch for, but more about spirit guides than a lot of people seem to realize, and about specialist guides that can help with the healing. So, Elaine, I believe that was one of your questions. What else can you do? Find a healer spirit guide. We'll talk about that in that webinar next Friday. at 12 noon. That's a paid webinar. Right now it's called What's Up with Spirit Guides, but you're actually going to meet your guide, work with them, and receive a gift from your guide that you can use to tap into your guide at future events. So thanks for joining today, and let's close with an energy healing. And thank you all for joining. Energy healing with the goddess. I call her Connie. Put your hands on your heart. The date for the spirit guides, Linda, is Friday, July 28th at noon Pacific time. Learn It Live platform, experts.omtimes.com/RobinFritz. And I'm going to update that in the next day. We had a animal crisis here this morning, and I had to deal with that. So hands on the heart. Breathe in, and as you breathe in, imagine healing energy going into your palms. Breathe into your palms, and then hold them out to your screen, to the world, and just let the energy go where it will. It's sentient. It knows where to go. Hands on your heart. Breathe into your palms, and then put your hands back on your heart again. This is a basic energy healing technique. For those of you who asked, what can you do for yourself? Try this. This was taught to me by the goddess herself. It does work. Thank you for joining us today. Join me next week at my radio show on Mondays, here at Facebook Live on Tuesdays, and at my webinars Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Thank you, and goodbye.